Well, hello everyone. I'm Joy, and I would like to welcome you to the show today on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful afternoon. I want to let you know the title of this show today. It is called Lost Control. Lost Control. I believe that we have lost control over our own bodies, over our own thoughts, over our own actions. We don't have control. We've lost it. We've given it up. Given up our rights. Given up our privileges. Given up our authority. We've lost control. And I want to give you an example of what I mean by lost control. If you have a desire and it's something that you want to do and you don't do it, you don't have control of yourself. If you want to work out and you don't do it, you don't have control of yourself. That means you desire something, you strongly want it, but you're not doing it. You're not doing it because you no longer have control. You gave up control. And what's interesting is you give up control whether you want to or not if you don't take action. So if you don't take action, you literally are handing the control over. If you wake up and you say, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing XYZ, and that XYZ is something you desire, you've given up your control. Now, are we created to control our bodies, or are we created for our bodies to control us? Which one? Now, think about your life right now. Think about all the different things going on. Think about the past weeks or months. And who's been controlling who? Have you lost control in an area where you're supposed to have complete control? Somebody might say, I'm tired of smoking cigarettes. I'm tired of eating this junk food all the time. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of having a bad attitude. I'm tired of this. I really don't want it. But then the next day they do it again. If you would see somebody do that over and over, you really would think they're crazy. That would be equivalent to someone saying, I really, 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 really do not like listening to music. And every time you see them, they're listening to music. And you would say, I thought you said you don't like listening to music. So why are you doing it if you don't want to? I'd much rather be playing music than listening to music. Okay, well, every time I come over, I see you listening to music. Why aren't you playing? You just said that's what you would prefer to do. You've lost control. You don't have control over your body anymore. They say 95% of our thoughts are yesterday's thoughts, recycled thoughts over and over and over. That's not having control of your thoughts. Right now, you have a collective amount of habits. And what happens after a while, you would think that habits, let's say that they're bad habits, you would think that would be the worst case scenario. But there's actually something that's even worse than bad habits. And that is called hypnotic rhythm. I first heard about hypnotic rhythm through Napoleon Hill, and I thought it was very interesting because it discusses the fact that when the habit gets to the point where you don't even have to think about it anymore, you are almost zombie-like in the execution of that bad habit. That's how much it has you in its web, and that's not control. You're not controlling your life. That habit controls you. That negative thinking, which is a habit, controls you. Your lack of doing what you truly want to do controls you. So yesterday I posted something regarding one of our clients who said that he desired to have a healthy and fit lifestyle. And he said that for 5 years he did not work out because he felt like he didn't have time because of work. So that means he had a desire and he felt as if he would not have any time to commit to that desire. So that was his justification. So therefore, he went without something that he desired for 5 years. Some people go way longer than that. Something that he truly desired, he lost control. When you have control, you make room for that thing that you desire. And you know that if there's something that you desire and it has benefits, that means when you lose control and you don't go after it, then now you have to suffer from the consequences, which he had to suffer from the consequences of 5 years of not being in control of that situation, not taking control of that situation and doing what he wanted to do. So there's a cost, there's a price you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay a price if you choose to lose control or let go or relinquish your control, even though you're doing it unconsciously. It's not like he got up every day and said, I'm choosing every day to not work out. You push it in your subconscious so that you don't have to think about it. You don't want to think about it because if you think about it, then it would make you want to go take some type of action. So you push it out of your conscious so you don't have to focus on it, but it doesn't go away. It doesn't solve anything. The problem still exists. And you have just relinquished your control of your own self and your own actions and cause and effect, because every cause has an effect, every one. So now it's going to go in the negative direction instead of the positive. So you want control. You want control. And let me tell you that majority rules. I'm a huge fan of 80-20 rule when it comes to a lot of things. Majority rules. What you do most of the time is what matters. What you think about most of the time is what matters. That's why if you make a few mistakes or if you do some things you didn't want to do, that's okay. That's not the big deal. It's always most of the time is what matters. I could right now, for the rest of the day, think, I feel like I'm sick. I feel like I'm sick. I feel like I'm sick. There's people who do that. And I promise you, sickness will find me sooner than later. Because I'm thinking about it. Maybe I'm picturing myself blowing my nose in tissues, or maybe I'm picturing myself with a thermometer in my mouth and having a fever. Maybe I'm picturing myself or listening inside. I could hear other people who have mentioned, oh, I know I'm sick too. You know, boom, I'm sick. It's going around. So I could say that and think about it all day long. And isn't it amazing? I will get sick. Happens all the time. So you lose control. You take control when you say, no, I'm not sick. I'm fine. You don't even have to discuss it anymore. You could keep thinking thoughts. Keep thinking healthy thoughts. Keep thinking energetic thoughts. Keep thinking vibrant thoughts. Because you want to keep your control. You don't want to let go of your control. Because once you let go of your control, then what do you have? And what's sad is most people think that they're controlling their lives every day. When you don't make a decision, the decision is made for you. So that's what I'm trying to get across, is that even if you choose not to make a choice, to let go of your control, another counter choice and option has just been ignited on your behalf. So it's almost like It's almost like if you're staring at a person and you look at them and you say, okay, here's the deal. You can go over there and wipe that table off. If you do not wipe that table off, I can go around this whole room and destroy it. And it's almost like you're saying, oh, I'm not cleaning it. So the other option takes place, whether you want it to or not, by default. That's what happens when you relinquish control. Have you lost control? Have you lost control of your life? Have you lost control of your life? Do you still know what you want? Because that's step one. You have to know, you have to have some type of intention. That's what athletes have. They have intention. They have, you see it all the time. They have this focus. They know what they want to focus on. So when they focus on it, they get it. Malcolm Gladwell said that there's a 10,000 hour rule. And basically, when you do something for 10,000 hours, that's supposed to be like the magic number. That works out to be about 3 hours of practice a day for 10 years. Then you literally have just mastered that. So you see athletes that do it. They really put their focus and their intention on that. So they are controlling where their thoughts are, where their actions are for that, let's just say, for that duration of 3 hours a day. And that's enough to where if there's some negative things, if there's some things that didn't go your way that day, that power in that focused intention. There's power in that, and it'll still get you what you want in a relatively short amount of time. Now, let's flip that and reverse it. So that means if you don't do that, if you don't focus on something and control whatever it is that you desire for a certain duration, and you relinquish that control, then you're just a victim of whatever happens because you're doing nothing. So you're not actively doing anything, consciously doing anything. So whatever happens, happens. Now do you see why you end up being a person who says, well, I can't control what happens to me. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I can't control that. This happened, so I'm affected by it. No, it started with you. It started with you. Is it easier to relinquish control? It feels easier because there's no effort. You don't really have to do anything. So it feels easier. It almost feels like, oh, this is so easy. I'm taking the easy way out, so I'll just not think about it or not do anything towards it. That's the easier route. Let's take the example of health and fitness just for a second, okay? So let's say you have the desire to have optimal health and fitness in your life. You want to eat healthy, you want to work out, you want to get your mindset together, you want to do it all. You make a decision, you say you want to do that. You say, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start next week, I'll start next month, I'll start next year. Meanwhile, even though you just said that was your desire, you never took control over it. You never took control. That same way that you could say you're sick all day, you could start having those type of thoughts and saying those type of things to yourself that will get the ball rolling in that direction. But instead, if you choose, because everything is about choice, to not take any action, then you're just going to be a victim of whatever happens as a result of you not taking any action. So since you've relinquished your control, let's say the next week you get sick. Let's say the next month you start getting tired in the middle of the day. A couple months later, you start noticing that you have skin breakouts. A couple months later, you're noticing that you're constipated. Then you're starting to notice that you're just not feeling good at all. So you go see a doctor and they're like, look, you have hypoglycemia, so you need to take these pills. We need to regulate your blood sugar levels. Then after that, you have some side effects. So you need to take something else for those side effects. Now you're noticing that you're starting to feel depressed. You don't even know why. Like you've never experienced depression before. Why am I feeling like this?